Yeah, and welcome to a lesson on supercharging your solos. Now, how are we going to do that? Chords, scale, octaves. The trifecta of awesome. Now, if you don't know theory like me, I don't know much theory. I know enough to get by, but I know my scale, my basic pentatonic scale, over any type of progression. And I know how to see chords in the progression in those scales. So that makes the modes for you. Okay, that's the kind of the special way of knowing the modes for us uneducated types. Okay, so what we're going to do is give you some simple but very effective techniques. So say we are playing an E major and we have like an E, a B, a C sharp minor, and an A chord progression going on. Okay, we got that sort of a thing. Got some friends like at a bar, they're like, dude, come jam. I know you've never played this song. We're putting you on the spot. Your feet are in the fire, but just set yourself free. You're thinking, crap, I could choke. Well, put these tips into place, and you, my friend, ladies and gentlemen, have a fighting chance of not choking. Maybe even sounding good. So check this out. We're in E major. All right, so how do I find my E major pentatonic? My simple trick is I find the E chord on the A string. So you look for the E note. Ah, there's my E note. And then you make this little A-shaped version of an E chord. Right? Think of this, the A shape, right? You're playing an A string down, so it's the A shape of an E chord, okay? I know that wherever my third finger is, right here, that is the fret where my first position major, it's got to be major, pentatonic is going to be. Okay? You can double check that by starting on this note. So, okay? So if you start on this note, you're starting on E. All right, so you've got a double whammy. You've made sure you've got the right scale. Okay, so you got... Now, why that is cool is because when you see that and you know that the scale is right here, then you know those notes are automatically good. Okay, so I can do my typical blues licks. It's gonna sound great over an E chord. Whew. One chord down, 3 more to go. I almost said 4, and that would have been like, woo! 3 more to go. Now, if you can find the notes of the other chords inside that position 1, that's going to be awesome. The way to do that is you got to know 3 different versions of each chord. Let me show you how to find them. So I'm going to talk about an E shape, an A shape, and a D shape. Okay? The E shape, I want you to think of the E string all the way, E to E. We're going to find the chord that takes all 6 strings to make. So if I said, D major, find the D note on the low E string and then make this E major shape, right? We got this E major chord, right? So what we're doing is we're taking that same 3-note cluster and we're putting our little movable capo here to give ourselves a root note to make this a D chord. This is the D note. Now it becomes a D chord, but it's the E shape of that chord, okay? So we got one here. We got, I'm sorry, that was a D. I meant, and then, okay. So we have the A shape and the E shape of an E chord. Now, the D is just a little bit different. So say I want to find the D shape of an E chord. The trick to doing that, and the reason I'm going down here now instead of up here, is because it's going to be a little scrunched up here. So think of this same shape. We're doing an E shape of an E chord, but we're looking for the D shape. It's going to be really close. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this E, right? So this is an E, and and then you have a higher octave. This is an E. And then you want to take the next higher octave, E, which is right here. And then when you find that higher octave on the B string, okay, so when you find the E note, the root note on the B string, just make this D shape, right? This 3-note cluster, and you're gonna have an E major chord. Okay, so anytime you want to find the D shape of whatever chord it is, look for the root note on the B string and then make that shape. You're gonna have it. So if I was looking for an A chord but using the D shape, I'm gonna find the A note right there. I'm gonna put my finger right here, and now I have an A chord, okay? So when you do that, and you can do that for each one of those chords, the E, the B, the C sharp minor, and the A, what you're gonna find is, if you know at least those 3 inversions, you're not gonna ever have to move out of one spot, because you're gonna be able to find all the chords in a small area if you know those tricks on how to find them, okay? So what I mean is, I'm gonna stay in position 1, but I'm gonna hit every chord tone of every chord that goes by in the progression. Okay, so watch. Okay, that was every note in the E chord. Okay, now I have a B chord. I don't want to move out of position 1, so my brain says, okay, I found that B note. If I move up to that higher octave, I got my D shape of the B chord right here. Right? Listen. B chord, B chord. So I can do E here. I can do B here. Okay, so now I need to say to myself, is there a C sharp minor note anywhere close that's in the E, the A, or the D shape? Okay, so first off, I'm going to look for the E string version of the C sharp minor chord. Okay, so I got to go. Got it right here. This is my C sharp note. If I use this minor shape, right? It's got to be a minor shape, not the major one, but the minor. It's right there in position 1. Okay, so suddenly we've gone from E to B to C sharp minor. You don't have to use the whole thing. I'll use the bottom 4 strings. Okay? Now I just have 1 chord left. Okay, so again, I'm going to go to my default, find it on the E string. Okay, here's my note. Okay, well, that's not in position 1. Use my octave trick. There's the A note. I got it right here. Okay, so I got an A chord. Trying to make sure I'm saying the right chord and not jumping ahead of myself. So we got E, B, C sharp minor, A. We never moved. And then here's my A. We got B. Now we can move down, right? So if I did all of my chords in one spot. Now the great thing is, if you know all 5 positions, all of those notes are the same, right? Each of the 5 positions in E major pentatonic, they contain the same notes. So that means no matter where you're at, all of those chords, if you found them in one spot, are going to be in every one of those positions, right? So I moved out of, right? Okay, that also can be, right? I can play out of position 5 and hit that E. I just was in position position 5, hit my B chord. Right? Then I have my C sharp minor. Now that one's going to be a little bit more tricky, right? Because I got here, I got one up here, and I have one here. So, there it is. Right? So we got and then we got our A right here. Right, there's part of our, so we're still in that same. We can add one extra note. Right, so we did all of the chords in position 5, okay? So we hit our E right there, so position 5. We went here. We hit our B right here. We hit our C sharp minor right here. And then we did our A right here. We went out of the scale a little bit, but it's still right there. Oops. Okay, so we hit all of them in that spot. Fourth position's the exact same thing. Check this out. So fourth position, I'm just going to show you the shapes. You can find them later and why they work. But E, so fourth positions. So we got E shape. Okay, we got B. We got C sharp minor. We got A. Didn't even move. Right? Okay, now, not the world's greatest playing, but I'm just like flying through it, figuring out and going from position to position, seeing if I can hit those chord tones, because that's everything, right? Right, so that's just kind of how it's all applied together, right? You're just, we're just improvising. I'm just kind of showing you tips and techniques. I know choice isn't perfect. My phrasing isn't the best, but if I wanted to build a solo, could totally do that, because now it's like, I know where all those chords are. I can really slow down and play and really create something. If I'm in a live position, never played it before, I can get through it. Use my stock riffs, right? So maybe I'm fast with some riffs. I can do some blazing runs, or you can do some blazing runs or whatever, right? Noodling. But if you want to slow down or do those blazing riffs, you can do them and make sure you're hitting the right notes. So then your faster runs that normally might just be noodling around the fretboard are actually hitting chord tones, which makes you sound awesome. Now, if you're not fast, it's even better, because Then from the beginning, you're starting with melody, right? Your brain's saying, oh, these are those notes. Here's my scale. I'm going to slowly work through them. And as you're learning both the scale and the inversions, melody's already being built. That's your foundation. And as you progress technically and get quicker, your sense of melody will be at the same rise as your technique. And I promise you, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Anyways, you guys are so awesome. Thank you for the continued support. Always check down below to see if there's any links. Oftentimes there are videos not on YouTube. There's the website if you want in-depth instruction on all of this kind of stuff. There's tons of courses. Some of them are 10 hours long, so they're super in-depth. Lessons like this one, 10-hour courses. I promise you'll have it down at the end of that. And if not, there's also sometimes there's scale diagrams down below that help kind of conceptualize what I'm teaching a little bit better. So always check below for the links. You guys are amazing. And if you like what you see, by all means, spread the word. You're awesome. We'll catch you next time.